So that really pertains more to the agency world where historically, you go back 20 years, really your media agency and your creative agency were at the same agency. They both lived in the same world. And then because there was so much changing on the outside, the world split and you got to media specific companies and creative specific companies, and then they split further and you got to boutique creatives and you got to boutique media companies and you got to digital companies, and the world goes on and on. There's been a tremendous fragmentation of the agency world over the last 20-25 years. As a result, today you have a lot of players who are all gunning for the same dollar any brand is trying to sell. And so as a marketer, you're trying to decide how you place content, and do you have your publisher develop that content? Do you have your creative agency publish that content? Do you have your media agency create and publish that content? The world has gotten very confusing. And so what was all in one company now has been split to many different companies, and the future is anybody's guess. But my inclination is you will see a future where creativity and collaboration have to come back together because it's so confusing out there. And there has to be a more succinct and collaborative way to get after how you develop and action content from a brand standpoint. And so you will continue to see the agency world disrupt and reinvent. You'll continue to see manufacturers disrupt and reinvent because they've got to get to new tools and capabilities to navigate the space.
It's important because without it, we won't be able to do justice to the measurement opportunities of today. No one company can spend so much time and money building the most effective capabilities and tools to answer our questions.
I've been in the business long enough to see the arc circle back a few times. Back in the days, it was absolutely kind of one-stop shop agency of record. Then specialization came into play, and people started questioning, whether one agency with one point of view really could serve a myriad of needs. And that's where everything became fragmented, and you ended up working with a lot of different, a design firm, a strategy firm, a media firm, a creative firm. That's just really hard to do. That's really hard to manage. There's something in the air that tells me that we're going back to a more centralized approach. Agencies, I think, have gone through a really tough, growing pains over the last 5 or 6 years, understanding social, understanding digital, really understanding content creation, right? I mean, if you think about it, agencies made ads, but they didn't necessarily make content creation. And I think that that's a brand new capability among the best agencies out there. Once you have that collaboration, I think we're going to start seeing more and more brands look for that one or that two main partner out there to help them.
The agencies not fragmented, it was partly fragmentation, but it was also partly growth of specialist agencies. So the fragmentation that happened about 15 years ago was the separation of media from creative. And thus was born the media agencies and the creative agencies. But then at the same time, on a parallel path, you were having social agencies, digital agencies, and specialist agencies that were growing up alongside. So you ended up with media agencies, creative agencies, and all these disciplines. Clients then had the choice of either hiring one agency that could do all that for them or hiring multiple agencies and managing themselves. It works on both of those instances, but somebody has to be responsible for making sure that it's all coming together. I think what we're hearing from clients is that there's a small push towards starting to bring it all back together again, either through forced collaboration or having it all in-house where they can manage it better, because they just don't have the staff to manage all of those multiple agencies.